What's up, guys? You're looking perhaps at a very happy Tom Burkhardt right now in the 2016 Jaguar XF35T R Sport. This car is so fun. I really like it. Of course, the Jaguar XF is a four-door premium saloon competing with the Mercedes E-Class and the BMW 5 Series, and it is stellar. It's so good for 2016. Okay, so we're gonna pop it in sport and set off. So this is a 5.2 second vehicle, and the XF35T is between the XF 2.0D, their entry-level diesel for 2016, and the 380 horsepower XFS. So this XF35T makes 340 horsepower from its supercharged V6 and delivers a sprint time, like I might have just said, of 5.2 seconds to 60, and definitely feels it. It is so nice to drive. You know, just in preparing for this review, I want to talk about what's new on the XF for 2016, how it has really sort of a superb Audi level of quality in the cabin and construction, and really BMW beating levels of handling purity, finesse, and drive enjoyment, all while, you know, still being a really versatile and useful luxury sedan that's good at all of the luxury sedan haunts. Okay, so the new XF for 2016. So at first off, I really didn't I didn't love the look, which I thought was a facelift for 2016, and it is not. This is nearly an all-new car. So first off, didn't love the look in person, didn't love the look in the preview photos, but in person, this car is so gorgeous. And in R Sport trim with its LED headlights, LED blinkers up front, new LED DRLs, new taillights with multifunction LEDs in there for backup lamps, you know, brake lights themselves, turn signals, some F-Type inspired looks back there with some like double lumps on each side. Look like nice little brassiere perhaps. So really didn't love the looks in the preview images, but I'm sorry, but absolutely adore it in the flesh. It looks so fantastic. So we've got in sport mode and for the transmission, as well as the adaptive dynamics. So that's why it was keeping me against the rev limiter. Very obedient 8-speed ZF automatic transmission here, which is stellar. Rear-wheel drive on this XF35T, but all-wheel drive is available. And so the car is basically like all new. It doesn't share a panel with the car that left for 2015. Has all new styling all around. It's a real continuity type of look, but then you get up close and you're like, wow, this thing is really new. And that extends to, of course, the all new nose with different treatments for the XF, the base XFs, and the XFS, which has giant sort of XFR inspired intakes. But even this XF35T R Sport has a pretty aggressive face and really looks so cool. Even in this very subtle ammonite gray, which is a $500 option, it really looks good. So we've got shift notifications in there. The gear position indicator flips to white when it is time to grab the next paddle. Very helpful to avoid some of those, you know, avoid running into the rev limiter like we just did, or you can just have it in regular drive or regular modes and the car calms down dramatically. But obviously for this video, we want to try to show off the amazing handling brilliance and drive entertainment of the XF. Because at the end of the day, you know, even like executive saloon buyers really want the car to be a great handler, a real sports car that just happens to have 4 doors and a giant trunk. So in that regard, we definitely want to keep it in keep our $1,000 adaptive dynamics option in its race mode, but we'll just leave it in regular D for the transmission. Oh, this car is sublime. So what's new for 2016? So the design outside and inside is obviously all new. This is a brand new cabin. It's a really nice sort of low feeling dashboard. We lose the wake up sequence where the vents were hidden in the middle previously. Now these side vents are hidden, and those wake up and sort of like motor out silently into their open position. And it has a little bit of drama as the control knob rises. I mean, it's really just a very new machine. And of course, and outside, like we mentioned, that nose is all new, and then the tail is like all new. I mean, you have a black glass house on this R Sport version, which dechromes all the window surrounds and the entire trunk there. And it really, it looks sporty, and it honestly looks like a coupe. It's got a lot of S7 glamour in its style. It really is a good-looking car. And one of the other changes that they've made is the trunk is a little bit longer than it was previously. So the advantage of that is that you have a lot more trunk room for this new part aluminum chassis and bodywork. And the other huge advantage of that is, of course, just luggage space. And I guess the third advantage, if we're counting them off, would be the fact that with the XF's ultra short front overhang, it really has sort of like a lean back, sort of like elegance and glamour. This is a cool car. The Test R Sport XF includes 19-inch wheels that are like a silver finish, and that and like an active airbox are the only changes I would make to have a car that is absolutely outstanding. Ooh, so good. So the other things that have changed, in addition to the design, are of course the cabin technology, which is all like massively updated, super helpful, really good tech in this car. It's pretty dramatic actually after being in the LR4, which clearly has the previous generation of the infotainment system, and some hiccups we had in like connecting Bluetooth audio and just an aux input in general are totally eliminated for 2016. This car has just 4 main controls for its home. You have phone, media, climate, and navigation, and from there everything is so easy. We have 3D navigation, really easy stuff. Got the Atlantic Ocean there, saying hi to where this car was built, 2,000 miles away. Anyway, so from there you can go to media, phone, all the link ups are totally seamless. It's really a good system. And this is actually the base unit. This Jaguar In Control Touch is the new system, and has touchscreen display obviously here in the middle, as you can see, as well as a high-res display in the gauge cluster, and that actually can be upgraded to In Control Pro, or In Control Touch Pro, I think it's called, and that actually has a 10-inch monitor here, sans the buttons on the side, is a really dramatic giant screen, as well as a 12-inch TFT panel for the displays, and that is available as an option, or probably comes standard on the XFS. So that's all new. Really good stuff. Love the cabin, love all the exterior treatments, especially in person. It's very difficult to capture the new LED low and high. We have LED lights for every function on the outside of this vehicle, and so we have the similar like cat whisker of LED strip along the lamps, but it's more linear and more blocky. Makes the car look wider and more aggressive this year. And we also have integrated LED amber blinkers that are that full width of the normal white LED. It looks awesome. And so with the actual lights on, then it's this giant sort of like slim, a scowl of ultra pure bright white on the top portion of the lamps, the ultra thin new lamps, and then the bottom portion functions as the low beams. And these are like very multi-beam LEDs. I would say there are probably like 30 LEDs on each side. And with those LED lamps, you really have no downsides. I mean, versus an HID lamp, you have a purer, brighter light that picks up anything on the road a lot faster, and is just more. It's just a better light in general. But you still have like adaptive cornering and controls for that stuff, or automatic lamp control around the corners, even with the LED lights. So that's pretty unique, because the way that the HID projectors do that is they literally turn the lens of the that's right in front of this super hot light bulb. So with the LEDs, there's some more like lens tuning and stuff like that, but there's also different LEDs illuminating based on cornering needs and what kind of drive situation you're in. All right, very quick launch. TCS off. Okay. It's a quick car. All right, we gotta get back in D. Not a big deal. Obviously, in D, the shifts are absolutely flawless. In S, they do make more of a point of themselves. You know, the shifts are firm, and yeah, and you have absolute control on those paddles, which is good and bad. Good for everyday driving, but bad for video demonstrations. And really just a joyful car. So, okay, so the biggest point in our first bullet is that the new XF is dramatically lighter than the car that came before. With a part aluminum chassis and bodywork, the new XF loses about 350 pounds versus the previous cars. And that's like a 16% cut versus the previous generation, which was already like one of the lightest cars in its class. And from there, you have just exponential benefits in handling, feel, but you also have a 10% improvement in efficiency and I think like a 30% improvement in chassis rigidity, which you can definitely feel. The Jaguar engineers have been able to, even in this firmest sport drive mode or race drive mode, really have a very, very controlled and comfortable ride, which is rare. I mean, it's very rare to get that balance so nice. And part of the reason is because the chassis that they start with can be so compromised. I mean, if you're in like a front-wheel drive car with poor rigidity, the only way to really make it handle is to get the suspension super tight. But if you have a really tight body, you can and perfect weight distribution like this XF, you can be more friendly with the suspension settings and still achieve the same results in handling, feel, and pure, you know, stopwatch performance. So those are all really dramatic changes. So don't let the XF's sort of understated looks in some of its preview photos undersell it, because this car is all new and all awesome. Oh my god, what's going on up here? Some kind of accident. I'm gonna turn around. Yeah, it's great. This car is so good. So we're like outside Charleston, South Carolina. Obviously a very exclusive community here. Okay, so the other things that we want to touch on for the XF is why this car is such a great Audi and Mercedes beater. I mean, it's obviously a very stout competitor, but it's better than those cars in my opinion. Better than the new C-Class and E-Class, and better than the new 5 Series for sure. So how does it do that? Okay, so first off, with this cabin, absolutely stellar drive position, wonderful materials. We've got like a I can't remember what they call the brown leather here, but really nice brown leather seats, 10-way power adjustable, really extremely comfortable, superb driving position, power operated tilt telescope for the wheel. Obviously, you see I've got it in my preferred, like, you know, way out and low, but it can be, you know, you can really find a tailored driving position in this car very simply, which is great news for any luxury car. My new exemplar of the worst driving position comes from that Volvo S60 from the other week, which was absolutely god-awful. Felt like a CRV behind the wheel. So it really, there's like some stuff that you can't take for granted in the luxury sedan business. And one of those is a really great drive position and stellar handling. So the XF obviously nails both of those really easily. So next, with the cabin, it feels, the design is flawless and really easy to use. I mean, there's minimal buttons here, but there are dedicated button controls for the stuff that you use all the time, like vent direction, you know, seat heat, climate, stuff like that. I mean, you really have a good level of control for that stuff without going into the menus, which is awesome. But not really like a Porsche or Audi level of like immersion and you know, classes at the learning annex to like learn how it works. So that's really good. You shouldn't need to really have to dig into the manual to figure out how to function, how to, you know, figure out the vent controls and stuff like that. So in that regard, Jaguar has found a really nice compromise. Even with the active safety systems like lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, park distance control, what else is on this car? A variety of active safety systems. Active cruise, I think active cruise actually, I might be mistaken on that one. But a bunch of the standard active safety goodies that are coming on a lot of luxury cars are of course featured here and extremely well integrated. The latest generations of those systems, superb, all really good stuff. And surprisingly, actually, the lane keep assist is really, really good. It has 2 settings, or maybe 3 settings of its like attentiveness, of how responsive it wants to be, based on the road lines. And I've just been leaving it in its middle one, and it is seriously good, even on these like crazy country roads, which obviously, as you can see, like the outer limiter with that line on the edge of the road, which is what the cameras are reading, is the edge of the road. So that's pretty touch and go. You would have to really, really trust the system. Some of them will go over the line and sort of like push the limit there, thinking that it's just like a regular highway before they correct you. But this car is really, really on it, and that speaks to processing power as well as the just latest iterations of the supplier technology. So a lot of those systems come from like the Bosches and the Continentals of the world, and they're different versions. I mean, if you have a 2012 car that came out, it's running that sort of like that firmware, and it is stuck in that place and time. Whereas this 2016 model obviously includes all the latest goodies, and they're just, in addition to being well integrated and easy to use, they work really well, and you won't really need or want to disable them. So it's a very frisky and fun drive, and obviously with really, really pointy road holding, an extremely tight turning radius, really, really good for urban centers. So it really is a great car, in all those regards. And that takes us to sort of the second point of BMW beating handling purity. I mean, this rear drive vehicle has 50-50 weight distribution, as do most 5 Series these days. But where the XF is so different from the 5 Series is sort of its analog feel. I mean, even with all the latest tech and like a 5-second sprint effectively, this car is so plugged in, and you have very little bit of that like woolly sort of like electronic blanket feel that you can have in some of the new BMWs that aren't like really, really sport kitted. They just are super insulated and